What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to tell you my thoughts as a professional player on the Nike G.T Cut 4. This pair looks absolutely beautiful, and for the high retail price of 200 euros or dollars, you would expect a top tier performer. However, unfortunately, there are some things holding these back, and you should definitely think about if these are worth your money. But that's what we're trying to find out in this video. So let's go through them step by step. First things first, the box is actually also pretty cool and very premium for that high retail price. You get a little sneaker bag right here with a shiny iridescent GT Cut logo, which I like a lot. And then the box itself is also held in a similar vibe. As you can see, shiny, iridescent all around, apart from this side right here where there is the size tag. In my opinion, that is a really cool box and one of the best Nike has designed in the past year alongside the Nike G.T box. You might have noticed I've broken my hand during last week's game, so unfortunately there was no video last weekend. I apologize for that. I'm feeling better, I can move my fingers again. And the best thing is I should be good to go again in around 3 weeks without a cast and then maybe 1 to 2 weeks of physiotherapy. But now for the performance features of the G.T Cut 4. If we take a look at the traction pattern, you can see it's a very unique pattern for sure. We have this huge swoosh right here in the middle of the outsole. And then we have a translucent, kind of wavy-like traction pattern. I honestly don't even know how to describe it. The grooves themselves are surprisingly solid. Of course, at the edges, they're rather soft and easy to move. But the thicker grooves are pretty damn hard. So in my opinion, you might even be able to take these outdoors. I haven't tried it yet myself. If you've tried them outdoors, make sure to let everyone know if that's a question. But most of the time, such a premium shoe, you'd probably stick to indoor basketball only anyways. For the grip itself on an indoor court is actually very good. But in my opinion, it takes some time to be broken in. So I noticed the first times I was playing with them, I was kind of sliding out or slipping out. Couple of times, nothing all too crazy, but it was just a little annoying because it was inconsistent. And then the more I played with them, the better the grip got. I've seen some other reviews that say they're a 10 out of 10. I disagree with that. In my opinion, it's an 8 out of 10. Once they're broken in, it's a very good and reliable bite, but it's also not the strongest bite in the world like the Flow setup from the Curry line or the Joker GT series that come to my mind because I just tried them out today, and both have an insanely good bite and got a 10 out of 10 rating from me. But overall, give them time to break in, and you'll have a very solid performing shoe traction-wise. Now for the cushioning setup, this is really where this shoe excels. We've got 2 cushioning setups. We've got a full-length Zoom Strobel, which is probably my favorite cushioning setup. And then we have a Zoom X sock liner, kind of like we had on a couple of other shoes, the G.T Cut 3 Turbo, the GT Hustle that come to my mind now, and similar to what we have on the LeBron 23, although that is more of a drop-in. They kind of market it as a drop-in, but for me this is just more like a sock liner because there is still cushion in the shoe, there is still support in this shoe itself, and this really just is a sock liner for extra comfort. And of course it's nice that you get that Zoom X feeling in there, but in my opinion the main attraction of this shoe in terms of cushioning is definitely the Zoom Strobel setup. It's my favorite setup because it offers great impact protection, great bounce, and yet you're still somehow low to the ground. And if you know me and my channel, that's what I like in basketball shoes. In my opinion, if the Book 1 had a full-length Zoom Strobel unit, they would probably be the best basketball shoe for everyone of all time. But with the Cushion 3.0, they're very low to the ground, so some people don't like that. Here, you definitely have more cushioning in the forefoot as well, and definitely, let's say, around a similar feel in the heel with the Zoom X sock liner and the Zoom Strobel. A very bouncy setup, very responsive as well, and kind of, as I said, even decent court feel. So you can also take a look here at the medial side. You can see you're not too high off the ground, you're sitting relatively low down here in this midsole. And I do have to say, for a design standpoint, this shoe is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be getting the Kayao colorway as well. Also from Kicks, by the way, if you're wondering where these from, you can see the logo on my t-shirt. Big shout out to them for sending them to me. You can find an affiliate link in the description box down below, or just use my code Lucas for a discount. Works on almost everything on their website. And just from design, as I said, the box is top tier. The shoe itself also looks really cool. Just now, the performance features that are kind of holding them back, we're getting to these. The traction and the cushioning, my bad, are actually what these do really well, or where these excel in. But now for the supportive features, that is still okay, but there's some things I don't like as much. I can't show you a flex test because I can't really move my right hand. I can't apply any pressure yet. I can barely hold things like this shoe. But when you flex them, and especially when you tie the laces very tightly, I should have a clip of that on screen where I still have my normal hand. The laces just cut into your feet, so I can't really tie them as tightly as I would need to tie them for the lockdown to be perfect. So that's definitely a downside because the tongue is just too thin and the placing of the laces is kind of weird. For the rest of the supportive features, they're actually okay. My biggest issue are the laces. We have a heel corner that does a good job. We have good torsional support as well. It's a very sturdy shoe and kind of goes hand in hand with the materials. This kind of synthetic plasticky material here on the outside and then this more fabric-like material here on the medial side of the shoe. They work well together, but they also have some downsides. They are incredibly stiff at first. They hurt to break in, so they also need some time to be broken in, but hey, at least that's consistent with the traction performance. You just need to wear them for the shoe to be good. And in the past, I was always someone who critiqued shoes a lot that had a long break-in time. But for these, it's just at the border of being too long, in my opinion. It's okay, like a couple of hours, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours of playing basketball in them, and they're going to be very, very good, or way better than they were at the start. But then you just have to ask yourself, is it really worth it to pay 200 plus euros for a shoe that you need to wear for some time for it to actually be good? And then there's still better shoes on the market that are good right away. So that's really up to you. In my opinion, if you really like the design, you can definitely make that argument. But as I said, there's better options on the market. You can make sure to check out my top 5 of 2026 so far video. Didn't include the GT Cut 4 because I didn't have them yet. I don't think that it would have cracked the list anyways. But now for the materials, they work together kind of well. I heard that the first colorways they released, the All-Star colorway as well, that they kind of had a full plasticky setup like this one here, and that was very, very uncomfortable, kind of like foamposites back in the day. And I also mentioned the tongue already, it's just too thin. It's also a semi-connected tongue, so on the medial side of the shoe, it's not loose. On the lateral side, it's loose, so you can only move it here on the lateral side. And I just wish they would have added a little bit more padding, or actually that kind of bit of padding that we had on the GT Cut 3 on the tongue, where we had this little air pillow that was really, really comfortable and did an amazing job in terms of comfort and preventing the laces from cutting into your feet. The shoe itself overall is also kind of heavy, which is surprising because the GT Cut 4 was very, very lightweight. They're probably around the same weight as the GT Cut 1, if I'm not totally mistaken. And they also feel similar to them, definitely. And kind of more a successor to GT Cut 1 and less a successor to the GT Cut 3, which is always a little weird when Nike just leaves out certain shoes that were in the middle. The GT Cut 2 we don't even talk about anymore because I didn't like them. That was a shoe, for example, that needed for ages to be broken in. But here, they're definitely better than the 2s in my opinion. I only had very, very beat down pairs of the 1s, but I don't think they beat the 1s. Are they better than the 3s? In certain aspects, yes. If you need more support, if you need a little more cushioning, then definitely. But if you want more comfort, the 3s are probably still the better option. Maybe these are an improved version of the GT Cut 3 Turbo because I also didn't like the materials of these as much. But we'll just have to wait and see. Also, I'm, as I said, going to get the Think Pink colorway, Kayao colorway. Just going to see if I really like the colorway that much, if they look so good on foot, how much am I actually going to wear them. Maybe I'm going to do another review in a couple of months to see if my opinion has changed at all. One thing that is also terrible for these is the fit. They're very, very narrow and have a kind of banana shape. I don't know if you can see it that well here, but the shoe itself is kind of pointing to the inside. Very similar from material and fit standpoint to the KD4 Retro, unfortunately, and I really didn't like those. Your pinky toe is getting squeezed a lot here. I actually wore these with toe socks, which helped with that because just my toes then had more space, and that might sound a little weird because I'm talking about the shoe being too narrow, and then why would it help if my toe had more space? But somehow my toes just felt more stable, had a little bit more space, and they didn't hurt as much as opposed to when I used them with regular basketball socks. So if you have access to toe socks, if you ever tried that, I definitely recommend doing that. And as I said, they just need some time. Just like the materials and the traction, the fit of the shoe needs to be broken in. They need to get accustomed to your foot shape because the regular foot shapes are usually way wider than basketball shoes on the market nowadays. So now if I had to rank them on a scale of 0 to book 1, probably around 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's definitely a good shoe in certain areas, and if you give them time to be broken in, plus the look of the shoe is just so damn nice that I can't rate them any lower, honestly, because I just want to play in them because they look so cool. I also got a lot of compliments when I was wearing them. So for that, I think they're a solid performer, but are they really worth 200 plus euros or dollars? As I said, you probably have to decide that on your own based on this video, what I talked about, what they do well, what they don't do as well. And if those things are not as important to you, or if you have very narrow feet, then this could definitely be a really, really fun shoe. I think they're suitable for every position because of that versatile cushioning setup and the traction performance. outdoors, maybe the cushioning setup is top tier for impact protection, but maybe the outsole won't be the most durable. With all that being said, that's all I have for you today. And if you're interested in how I actually broke my hand, make sure to head over to my Instagram account. You can find a little video there. I also replicated Kobe's iconic broken hand free throw line pose in the pajama. I had to do that because it kind of was really troubling or hard for me at first to accept that, because I've been out this season for a very long time already with a chronic illness that required surgery, or chronic infection in my throat actually. And now I've just been getting back into my rhythm, just started playing well again. And the playoffs would have started this weekend when you're seeing them. This video, game 1 is already over. So I'm just hoping that my teammates can hold it up. And if they manage to reach the final without me, there's a chance that I can play. So that kind of keeps me going, and just the fun I have with creating content and making reviews. So if you've broken your hand and you've got any experience with that and coming back from that, just let me know. The break is like right here. Let me know if you've got any tips, or any motivational words would help as well, or just feedback on this video, like always, is much appreciated. And if you don't want to leave any feedback, just leave a comment for the algorithm, like this video and subscribe to my channel to not miss any other videos. And like I said in the middle of the video already, if you have any suggestions on other shoes I should review, or just video ideas, let me know down below as well. Have a good one and see you next time.